Are we good? Look, Balatro deserves Game of the Year for one very obvious reason. And it's clearly the amazing music. I mean, the opening of this game is it is hypnotizing and peaceful, and I don't know if the music will ever even get old. There's literally like just one song that is like the biggest win when it comes to music design. But look, we're not here to talk about the music exactly, because it's I think it's nominated for music award for best video game music, but we're not here to talk about that award. We're here to talk about the Game of the Year award. And if you don't know, there is this little poker roguelike game called Balatro. I'm sure you do know, but it managed to dominate the Game Awards completely. And I assume a lot of people have heard of it or have played it, but there's still a lot of people that are like out there confused that like, why is this weird little poker game nominated so heavy this year, and why is it in the Game of the Year section? The real question should be, why the hell is Elden Ring DLC in there? But I don't know. I mean, I haven't played it, so maybe there's maybe there's some magical reason that it should be Game of the Year. But sadly, I feel like there's a simple solution, and that's just DLC category. There's been a lot of confusion around the nominees with the DLC being in there, and then with this game Balatro being in there. And for the last few weeks, and based off the way this game is just spreading like wildfire, like I think that this game should be the Game of the Year. Now, this is just my opinion, and my opinion doesn't really matter because I haven't played Metaphor. I haven't even played Astrobot. I haven't played Black Myth Wukong or Final Fantasy 18 or whatever, whichever one it is. I have played Balatro. And I do think I know some things about those other games, right? I will soon be getting Astrobot. It seems like a very fun game, and it's dominating the Game Awards as well. And I do think that that's probably like the main competition for Game of the Year, like Astrobot. I don't know. I mean, maybe Metaphor could. I don't know anything about Metaphor. So like, if Metaphor is some amazing game, I could see. I know people are really loving that, but I feel like Astrobot is the other one that's like a real standout title, and I do really want to play that. I do want to play Black Myth Wukong as well. I just think it does fall into like one of the AAA game categories of just like there being like, same with like Final Fantasy and stuff, that like it's just maybe doesn't appear super impactful or like adding anything too new to gaming. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes they can just end up seeming kind of repetitive and like carbon copies of like other type of games. That's what I think would maybe be the case with some of those games. And even the Elden Ring DLC, like that's just more Elden Ring, which I don't know how much creativity it has like compared to the base game, so if it's not adding anything too crazy, I don't see why it's even a consideration. But let's get to Balatro, right? I think we have here like this very interesting game that is breaking through the industry in ways that like not a lot of indie games do. There are some, really Stardew is one of the ones that I can think of. There is a lot of indie games that go on to be really successful. They'll sell millions of copies, and and then they do kind of hit like these walls, but Stardew is this one that's just going, it's growing, it's still going, it's years later, it's still going. It's Stardew is this like steam train that just won't stop, and it is insane. And I think Balatro kind of has the potential to be that type of game as well, being like this poker game, and both of them have like age ranges that are insane that most games don't have for their audiences. I'm pretty sure people were able to get hundreds, maybe thousands of their grandparents starting farms on like a Switch Lite or something after gifting them one for like their birthday or Christmas or something. There is a lot of grandparents out there that play Stardew Valley. And that's just, you can't say that about any other games, really. Like, that's crazy. That's amazing. Like, Stardew also released on phone, which, like, brought it to, like, so many other people that don't have PCs or consoles. And this little golden gem of a game, Balatro, is doing all this in under a year. Like, August, it reported that it had sold over 2 million copies. And September, it released for the phone. And since then, it's also been in these Game of the Year, like, nominations. So, like, that's, like, a huge spike in interest as well. But personally, I refuse to get Balatro on my phone. I cherish my time, like, all the time I have in a day. And, like, I can't do it. But I could imagine that it's sold a lot more. And now, sales don't really matter here. Like, it's not really like the focus of like what makes a good game, but it's gotta be impactful, right? And being this poker based game that it is, like, it has the ability to hit such a wide age gap that, like, give this game some time. Like, it hasn't even been a year yet, and give this game a few years and it could just keep growing like wildfire. I think this could be one of the top 5 like best selling indie games ever, if you count out like Minecraft or whatever. Like, I kind of don't put that in there, but rightfully so. This game is an amazing game that just, it may not seem like much at first, but the more you play, the more you unlock, the more different types of jokers you try, you realize just like, wow, like, this game is just so satisfying. And like, what else is there? Like, you just want to keep learning about stuff, and then you start dreaming all these like ultimate combos and that are like actually really hard to get, and like the RNG becomes a thing, and it never feels like discouraging. Like, you're constantly like trying to like keep retrying. Oh, let me retry this, and then eventually you learn you can like unlock all these different types of decks, and like some can feel like a little cheap, but like once you start doing like real high stakes runs and stuff, you like want all the help you can get. So it's like cool having all these different options and almost like play styles of how you want to make your money or progress through the runs, and like what feels like just a simple game at first that you might even like put down and be like, like whatever, but like then you start opening up all this stuff, and it's just like this huge world of poker and possibilities, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Now, I haven't really personally played deck builders or too many of them, so like I could be just unknowledgeable in a lot of stuff, but I don't know. I had been hearing about this game all year, but never really thought it would be like a game for me, and then there was this other game that like was, eventually going to come out on consoles that I really wanted to play, and I bought it when it came out, and it's called Dave the Diver. I just ended up not even playing it until a few months ago, when I was just getting sick of dying all the time in Souls-like games and stuff like that, and I was like, let me play a cozy game. So I played Dave the Diver. And luckily, there's already so much stuff like added to Dave the Diver from playing it like a year later. And they put Balatro in it. And I had heard about that, and I'd kind of known it, and and then once it like popped up in the game, I was like, okay, cool, let me try this little Balatro game. I guess I've heard about it. One of the smartest moves ever, to be honest. Like, it really gives you like a small glimpse of the game, but also it doesn't like limit you completely. You just have like a few bosses, like 3 or something, but it gives you like everything, like a bunch of the Joker. Maybe probably doesn't have all the Jokers in it. You're not really unlocking, but all maybe like the base Jokers that come when you first start the game. It really just shows you what the game is, and like gives you enough to like sink your teeth into, and then instantly I'm buying it. And then I got it on PS5 and Switch. And then I'll like hop off my desk playing it for like a few hours, listening to like podcasts and stuff, and then I'll go lay in bed, and then I'll just play it on Switch. It's insane. But yeah, like I said, I've never really played any of these type of games. I've always been wanting for something to like draw me into these type of play styles. And now this one has kind of done both, like into the roguelite world and into like the deck building world. And now I have like a bunch of new games that I could try out and potentially like Inscription. I'm really excited to try Inscription. But yeah, anyway, I don't know, that's just been like my experience and like why I think Balatro is very deserving a game of the year. Like, it's just this new infectious game that like really does something different than most games are doing, and yeah, go vote for this game for game of the year if you haven't voted yet. And just don't give it to Elden Ring DLC. That would be insane. That would be so insane. But anyway, hope you have a good one. Bye.